Welcome to this lesson, dear students. I hope you all are fine and doing well with your studies. Now, without much ado, let's continue with the previous lesson. Dear students, we have been studying some homonyms and homophones to enrich our vocabulary so that we should not face any kind of difficulty while writing English, while speaking English, and while translating from English to Hindi or Hindi to English. So, the first pair of words of today's list consists of these words: stationery and stationery. Dear students, do you notice any difference between these two words? Well, the difference is of the spelling. These words are spelt differently. And of course, their meaning is also not the same. The first word, stationery, it's spelled stationary. But in the second word, the letter A that comes later is replaced with the letter E. The first stationery refers to anything which cannot move. You know, this word is an adjective. That means fixed, immobile, or unchanging. The second word here is used to refer to letter writing material like papers, pens, envelopes, or any other writing materials. Or you must have heard this word in case of a stationery shop. So whenever you say a stationery shop, then you use the second word with the spelling stationery. And this word is a noun. Now let me give you some example sentences. Please note them down. An example of stationery is a bike that is attached to the floor in a gym. Now listen to the second sentence. I printed my homework on my best stationery. Now let's take up the next pair of words. Inquiry and inquiry. Do you know the difference between these two words? Well, the difference is of the spelling here. Do you know they have the same meaning? There is no difference in the meaning of these two words. Then why two words for one meaning? Well, basically, inquiry, that's first one, INQUIRY. Its spelling is according to American English. It's more common in American English. While the second one, ENQUIRY, this spelling is according to the British English. However, some people find minute difference between these two words, and that's traditional distinction between the verbs inquire, that's the first one here. It is reserved for uses meaning make a formal investigation, INQURE, and the other one, ENQURE, this word is used for general senses of ask. Interestingly, both these words derive from the Old French enquire, from a variant of the Latin inquire based on querere, that means seek. The same root word can be seen in various modern English words including acquire, require, conquer, quest, request, inquest, and question. Let's take up the next pair of words. Lay versus lie. Lay means to put something down, and lie means to put your body in a sleeping position. The verb lie has two meanings. One of them I just told you, that is to be in or to assume a horizontal position. And the another meaning is to make an untrue statement. Both of these words are verbs. The verb lay, it takes a direct object, and the verb lie, it does not. Dear students, you may be wondering then why they are so confusing. When we use these verbs in the present tense, it's quite clear. Let's take some examples. Unfold the blanket, and lay it on the floor. Second sentence. This stuff is pretty groundbreaking. You had better lie down. The difference in the present tense seems pretty straightforward. Lay refers to a direct object and lie does not. Now let's take up the sentences of past tense. She laid the blanket on the floor when I asked. So the past form of this verb lay is laid. Now let's see the next sentence. I felt sick, so I lay down. Here is where it can get a bit tricky. The past tense of lie is lay, but not because there is any overlap between the two verbs. So when you say, I lay down for a nap, you are actually using the verb lie, not lay, despite the way it sounds. So the culprit is the second form of the lie. It is lay. So we get confused that this is the first form of that verb lay or it is the past form of the verb lie. So to know which one is this, just read the sentence and check its meaning there. Now let's see the use of the past participle form of these verbs. Lay. She had laid the blanket down before she left. So the past participle form of lay is laid. Now let's see the example of lie. I had lain there for some time before getting up. Well, this past participle form is a common point of error. Many people accidentally use lied instead of lain when using the verb lie. Lied, however, refers to the past tense and past participle form of lie is lain when it means to make an untrue statement. Now let's see the present participle form of these verbs. Lay. I was laying the blanket on the floor. Lie. You have been lying down all day. Dear students, is it still confusing? Well, I give you a classroom trick. Just take the verb lay. Just try to match the A sound of this word with the A sound in place, as in to place an object. Whereas the I sound in lie sounds like the one in recline, as in to recline on a sofa. Another way to help you decide is to remember that lay will typically be followed by a noun, whereas lie will typically be followed by the word down. Oh, it seems a good rhyme. Imply and infer. These are two other words which are also very confusing. Imply means to point out something without mentioning it directly. Infer refers to deducing something out of a situation that's not clear. Let me give you its simplest meaning. Imply means to suggest or to say something in an indirect way. Infer means to suppose or to come to a conclusion, specially based on an indirect suggestion. Do you want still simpler meaning? Okay. To imply is to hint at something, but to infer is to make a guess. This is like we imply something by what we say. We infer something from what somebody else says. The main difference between these two words is that a speaker can imply, but a listener can only infer. Let's see the examples. Are you implying that the team cheated? The next example is, when you infer something, you read between the lines. To infer is to make a well-informed guess. If you see your mom's bag on the table, you might infer that she's home. Defense versus defense. Just mind the spelling. There's a difference in the spelling. In pronunciation, no difference. It's the same. And the meaning? It's also the same. Then why two spellings for the same word? Well, it's the difference of British English and American English. The first word, defense with C, is according to British English, while defense with S is spelled according to American English. Let's see the examples of these words. I have never played in a defense position. He was the then Secretary of Defense. Now comes the interesting pair of words, assure and ensure. Assure means to make it certain to someone that something is true, and ensure means to do all possible things to make sure something happens as required. Now let's take up the examples. Assure her that her teacher will reward her performance. One more example of this word, assure. I assure you that you will be rewarded for your efforts. So, to assure someone is to remove someone's doubts. And to ensure something is to make sure it happens, to guarantee it. Now let's see the example of ensure. Please ensure that her teacher rewards her performance. Now the next pair of words consists of allot versus allot. The same pronunciation but different spelling and different meaning. A lot is a quantifying phrase meaning much of something. And the second word allot means to give or apportion something to someone. For example, the baby cries a lot in the morning. The next sentence, the librarian was asked to allot the books to the students. Well, let's have a glance on the words that we have studied in this lesson. Stationery versus stationery. Inquiry and inquiry. Lay versus lie. Imply versus infer. Defense and defense. Assure and ensure. And the final pair of words consists of allot versus allot. So, dear students, I hope your doubts about, your confusion about these words are no more. But just listening to this lesson is not enough, just watching it not enough. You need to practice. Frame at least 5 sentences. Just 5 sentences using these words. I would be happy to see those sentences in comments so that I can suggest corrections if required. Thank you for joining. Happy learning.